Mike with Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Velocity by True Cornhole. Let's go and dive in, break these bags down. We'll start with the slow side. Slow side is a hybrid material. It is not one of the more popular hybrid materials, and I don't know why. I really like the way this material plays in the few bags that I've thrown and reviewed with it. It's the same slow side you find on the All Cornhole, Shag Attack, Big Mac bags, whatever. A few other bags have it. Those are the two that come to mind off the top of my head. It's a faster hybrid material. Brand new, it probably plays about a 7. As it softens up and breaks in, fuzzes up, gets down to that 6.5 speed. Mine are probably playing closer to a 6 because I do throw outdoors on rough surfaces, and they're fuzzed up more than what you would get if you played on more of a smooth surface or pitch pads all the time. But for me, 6 speed, but I'm gonna call it between 6.5 for most people on the slow side here. It's a very hole friendly material. It's great for running bags in the hole. If you like throwing faster bags, but you want a bag that can handle a little bit, give you a little more versatility, that's where this comes in. It's also wonderful in humidity. Like most hybrid materials, it plays great through all conditions. So as work conditions change, weather conditions change, if you play in an area where humidity is an issue or where you play in events where conditions change throughout the course of the event, a bag like this is awesome because you don't have to change bags. You can play the same bag and get pretty much the same playability through all those conditions. So 6.5 speed slow side. Fast side, another not real popular material. It's the same fast side material you find on the Fly Nemesis. Reynolds used it on their Renegade, the older Renegade. So the new Renegade, they changed that. The one I reviewed, the 2023 version of the Renegade, had this material. One reason it's not very popular is because of the feel. It has a different texture to it. Not everybody's going to like the way the bag feels. It doesn't have that soft feel that you get on a polyester material like most bags use on their fast side. It has more of I don't know, like it reminds me if you go camp in the tent. You ever grab a tent, in the way you feel that kind of that waterproof type material. That's what it feels like here, but it has a little more texture to it. It's not quite as slick. It's a fast material, 8.5, 9 speed, great for collecting bags, pushing through blocks, pulling bags out of the way, breaking up congestion. It also plays really well in humidity. So, both materials playing great in humidity. If you live in an area where humidity is a problem, a bag like this Velocity is something that you probably should add to your arsenal because it's going to play well on both sides. It doesn't slow down much, if any at all, in those when moisture gets on the boards. But anyway, 6.5 speed on the slow side, 8.5, 9 speed on the fast side. Template wise, this is a medium template bag. One thing I mentioned on template is the corners. I don't talk about corners a lot because most bags use a pretty standard or close to standard corner size. I tend to mention them if bags have those smaller, more squared off corners or the larger, more rounded corners. This bag has a little bit larger, more rounded corner to it. I'll get more into why that matters or how that affects playability when I talk about playability here in a moment. But if you look at the bag, it almost has more of a circle shape than that square shape to it because these nice rounded corners to it. So, and again, I'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, medium template bag. It's got a medium to thin feel. It's kind of a borderline. I'm not gonna call it a thin bag, but it's closer to thin than it is full. The bag has a lot of flop. It's a pretty floppy bag, very loose bag, which gives the bag a ton of forgiveness on it. It also has a mixed fill, but it's mostly a flat disc fill. Every now and then I'll feel like a really small round bead in there, but even the beads they use are on the smaller side, and there's not a lot of them. It's really a mostly flat fill, which that flat fill and the flop of the bag really give this bag a ton of forgiveness. So if you don't throw a flat bag, this bag really doesn't kick on you at all. It's going to land pretty soft, flatten out, run straight true up the board for you. So if you've been looking for a bag, if you're a fast bag thrower because you don't have a flat bag and you don't like the slower bags to kick on you, but you want a bag that has a little more control, this Velocity may be what you're looking for because you get a little bit more control with this material than you would with a faster polyester material, but you don't really gain that kick that you would get with the more controllable material. It's also very forgiving around the hole. That flop really aids in that bag, just grabbing that hole, corner grabbing the hole, pulling the bag, dripping it back in. Both materials very hole friendly. Typically, I talk about flat disc fill not being that hole friendly, and I don't like it because it wants to settle. But one thing True does, and I mentioned all their bags I think have it, is that liner. They have a really super slick material on the inside of here. True calls it their Drip Tech liner. B3 calls it a performance liner. But it's a really super slick material, and that really aids in that fill not wanting to settle but allowing it to move. Typically, that fill gets caught up in the slow side material, which is rough, has a lot of resistance to it. When the fill gets caught, it just hangs in it. And when you get a bag up in your hole, once that fill stops moving, the bag stops moving. You want fill that just keeps moving. So with that super slick material, it allows that fill just to keep slotting and dripping, and the bags will just drip right in the hole. I love bags that have a liner in it. The True Cornhole, I think, uses it in all their bags. It plays really well in this Velocity. It really aids in the hole friendliness of it and helps the bag play better in my opinion on it. The other thing that the liner does, it gives the bag a little bit more volume. So it gives the bag a fuller feeling, even though it's a looser bag, because you add that liner and you're taking up some space on the inside. So the bag has a wonderful hand feel. It doesn't really feel like a loose bag. So I feel like I have complete control of this bag like I would on a fuller bag, but I get all the forgiveness I would of a looser, floppier bag. So, these bags are also ACO stamped. So if you play in ACO events, you have to have a stamped bag. You can throw the velocity on that. Let's go ahead and jump in and talk about playability on this. And it's a bag, to me, it's really designed to run bags in the hole. Go hole for hole, outscore your opponent, get your 12 points every round. And that it does it extremely well. Both materials, as I mentioned, very hole friendly. You get them up near the hole, they're going to drip in the hole. I mean, this bag just wants to find its way into the hole, and it does it really well. I mentioned these big rounded corners. What that does is it really helps this bag get around blockers more than collect it. And so that's why I think the bag's better designed to run bags in the hole than is to play a dirty style game. And the reason I say that is when you have a blocker up there and you have your bag you're throwing, if you're trying to clip a corner, if you've got rounded corners, what happens is they just hit and it kind of just pushes that bag out of the way and it spins. There's nothing on this corner to grab that bag, and there's nothing here. Now, if you have a bag that has more squared off corners, when it hits, those two corners kind of hook and grab, and that's what causes the bags to kind of catch it and pull that bag with it. When you guys run at corners, they hit, it slides by, it pushes that block out of the way, and your bag you're throwing continues on through, which makes it great if you're playing against opponents who throw sticky bags, throw dirty bags, throw blockers, because you can kind of just sneak right around, bully their bag out of the way, and not take their bags in and make them collect it. And that's where I think these round corners really do a great job in kind of getting through congestion cleanly and leaving all the bags there. Now, if you do throw a blocker up there, you leave a bag short, whatever, it's no problem to collect. You just got to be more intentional in coming more to the middle. You can't go corner to corner. Come more in the middle, clip it, you can take it in. The other thing is the bags, because they're loose, they also do kind of smash up, accordion up a little bit when you're trying to go corner to corner, which again, makes the bags better at that get around. It's not a bag that you're really going to shape shots, cuts, rolls, flops. Not the best at that. I mean, look, if you're advanced level roll, flop, bag throw, or even throwing cuts, you can do that with any bag. You get enough of an angle or a back load or front load, you can get the bag to do what you want it to do. But the average to below average player, you're not rolling, flopping, cutting this bag just because it's so loose, so forgiving. But you don't really need to. When there's a blocker up there, I don't need to throw a cut. I don't need to throw a roll. I can just step out, throw into that blocker, hit that blocker, bully it out of the way, take my bag in, or if it's the other way, the same way, right? So you don't really need to get into that shot shape, which makes the bag really great for players who maybe, like I said again, maybe you don't have that right release, you can't get the different orientation of the bag. Maybe maybe you're still new to the game and you haven't figured out all the shot shaping skills like that. This is a bag that gives you those options to get around bags without having to manipulate the orientation, change your release, or doing that other stuff. You can throw your regular bag and still get around this. I love that. I mean, in the bag, because it's so hole friendly and drippy, you got a blocker there, you get around it, you just get that corner to go in, the bag's gonna sneak right into it. If you do happen to leave a bag hanging there for some reason, it's not hard to collect. You're coming out your next bag, you're gonna clip it, you're gonna take it in. I really, really was impressed with how well these bags found the hole. I mean, you get them up near there, they're going to go in the hole. It's a bag that's really going to improve your PPR. It's a confidence builder. I talk about cornhole being a mental sport, probably more than a physical sport. Bags like this that go in the hole just build that confidence. As you put more bags in the hole, you get more confident. The next one's going in the hole. And more than likely that if you're confident you're going to do it, you're probably going to do it. It's great. If you do a lot of those practice runs, you play some ghost cornhole online or whatever that started back during the COVID years, and you still do that or whatever. This is a wonderful bag for playing those ghost cornholes, round holios, deca rounds, whatever, because of how hole friendly it really is. Really love throwing the velocity. I think you will too. Leads me into availability. True Cornhole has that website, truecornhole.com. Put a link in the description as always for you guys. These bags were $69.99, $70 for a set of 4. It's $13 shipping, I believe, from True Cornhole. And I think that's a flat rate ship. I'm not positive. I think it's flat rate. So if you add more than one set, it stays at $13. I hope I got that right. But $83 for a set of bags is on that low to mid price point. Very reasonable, well worth it. High quality bags, but I have no issues with that. Again, these are ACO stamps. So if you're looking for an ACO stamp bag, you can get a set for $83. If you've thrown the velocity, I'd love to hear your feedback, what you like, what you don't like. Always love hearing guys' opinions. I'd really like to hear what your thoughts on this fast side material if you've thrown this. It's a very polarizing material. Like players either love it or they hate it, it seems like. So I'd love to hear your opinions if you've thrown a bag that has this fast side material. I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.